In this video, we're going to be discussing the $1,200 stimulus check as of Monday, June 1st. This video is specifically going to talk about those of you receiving Social Security, whether that's retirement, disability, or survivors, as well as those of you who receive SSI, who have a payee, and who have qualifying dependents. Hey everyone, this is Matt. Welcome back to another Blind to Billionaire video. I'm joined by my wife, Corey.
Hi.
And we're going to jump right into it because we have a lot of information. So let's get into it.
Okay, the first thing we want to talk about are the extra additional $500 if you have a dependent.
Yeah, I want to talk about this first, the additional $500 for dependents, because we've received a lot of questions asking, where is it? Now, the best thing we can say is the IRS came out, I don't know, probably a month ago now, saying that they recognize that there's a glitch in their system and that they have not been distributing the accurate amounts for people with their stimulus payments. For example, let's say you are a single person with two dependents. So dependents being under the age 17, so you'd be eligible to receive the additional $500 as the stimulus payment. So what is happening is they're distributing the $1,200 for you, but not the additional $500 per dependent. So in this case, it'd be $1,000. So basically what they're saying is there's a glitch in our system and the additional $500 has not been distributed, and they haven't given further guidance on this quite yet. So we don't know if these are going to be, if these dependent payments are going to be arriving separately at a later date, which is still to be announced, or if you're going to need to file a 2020 tax return early next year in 2021 in order to get that money. Again, I keep saying in the comment section as I respond to people that we'll give you further information as we get it, but we really can't announce anything until we get guidance from the IRS. So that's the deal. It's not an isolated incident where it's just you not receiving your additional $500 per dependent. Actually, it seems like almost everybody I've talked to that has qualifying dependents hasn't been receiving that additional $500. So it's definitely frustrating because everybody needs that money now, not in 8 months from now, early next year. So
yeah, I mean, it's just been frustrating, and that's kind of the information we have so far. You will get it if, like in the future, even though it would be in like 8 months, like Matt said, you will get it. It's just, it's not helpful now.
Provided you're eligible to receive it.
Provided you're eligible. If you're eligible, they will give you the money when you file your 2020 tax returns if you don't get it. But again, you needed it now, but just know that you will get it. It's
kind of like too little, too late kind of thing. Like, we needed it actually 2 months ago, not in 8 months from now. But anyway, that's the latest information. We wanted to do that first because we've had quite a few people asking about it. So let's get into the next topic.
The next group that we feel like we hear a lot from, and there's a lot of confusion, is people who have a representative payee.
Yeah, so representative payees, again, your payments should be distributed, and again, it's going to go to your payee. So if you are the beneficiary, you have a representative payee, or you are a representative payee, the payment is going to be going to the representative payee just like your typical monthly benefits, whether that's Social Security or SSI, it doesn't matter. It just goes to your payee. But the difference is the stimulus payment is not Social Security and it's not SSI. So your payee is actually obligated to give you that money or honor what you want with it, whatever that is. Unfortunately, we've had, just in the last 24 hours, we've had a couple people leave comments saying, I received the stimulus. Well, my representative payee received the stimulus and they took it. They stole it from me. So I'm not saying this is the case with everybody, but unfortunately we've had a couple comments in the last 24 hours of people saying this is my case. My payee stole it from me. And again, I don't want to say that is the case. I'm sure this is very rare, but we were fearing that this could possibly be the situation. But just recognize if you have a payee or you are one, that beneficiary is obligated to receive that money. So if they want it, you have to give it to them.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to maybe refrain from using the word stole because it may just be a misunderstanding of the benefit.
Right.
Because I think that because your money is being managed by a representative payee, they assume that all the money that comes in is to be managed by them, which would honestly seem likely. But on the SSA.gov website, it's kind of specifically states that that the money from the economic impact payment from the stimulus is not the responsibility of the payee. It's to be given to the beneficiary to use as they wish. So I really don't think that a lot of the representative payees have kept the money in a mail intent. I think it's just been a confusion. So I know that there's a lot of representative payees here, and I don't want it to seem like we think that you're being like
not at all.
It's just confusion.
I want to clarify. The reason I use the word stole is because that's what people actually wrote in their comments. So it's not me specifically saying that. And I feel like these are very isolated incidents where I don't think that's the situation for many people, but these people have reached out saying that. So
yeah, I just wanted to clarify, just to kind of smooth, just so that we all are on different,
And again, we absolutely do not think that of representative payees. I'm just wanting to point that out because it's been brought up. So
yeah, no, that's good. Let's talk next about payments on Wednesdays.
Yeah, payments on Wednesdays. So again, this is not something that's been announced from the IRS or the Treasury, anything like this. This is just simply my observation, and we've talked about this a few weeks ago, but I want to bring it up again. It seems that people in these categories, Social Security, whether it's retirement, disability, survivors, VA beneficiaries, SSI recipients is the word I'm trying to say. Just from our observation, it seems that payments are made to these people on Wednesdays. Now, last week was an exception because of the holiday on Monday, so it seemed that people were receiving their payments on Thursday. But I just want to say, if you're in these groups, it just seems that payments are being pushed out on Wednesdays. That's basically what it's been saying, and we've received quite a few comments lately saying they get my payment tool updated and I have a pending payment for June 3rd. Which happens to be a Wednesday. So just an observation that we've noticed. Again, we haven't received guidance from the IRS saying that these groups of people are specifically getting their payments on Wednesdays, but I mean, that's just what's happening for these groups.
Yes, I think that's good to point out. Next, we're going to talk about paper checks and prepaid debits.
Yeah, again, we talk about this, but I just want to point it out again. I've read quite a few articles over the weekend of people reports of people accidentally throwing away their stimulus payments because they thought it was junk mail, whether it was a paper check or the prepaid debit card. So we just want to emphasize, check your mail thoroughly before you throw it away, especially before you rip it up, because it could have a check inside for you. So that's the only thing I want to say is just check your mail. Even if you think you're going to be getting a direct deposit into your Direct Express card or your bank account, that doesn't mean you're actually going to get it there. We've actually had quite a few people who have Direct Express or bank accounts for their direct deposits, and yet they still received a paper check. Actually, I've had a few people reach out recently saying, I don't have a bank account, but I got a paper check. What am I supposed to do with it now? It's like, that's actually a really good point. That, people who have Direct Express typically don't have bank accounts. So it's like, what are you supposed to do with a paper check? But unfortunately, that's the case. So anyway, just be sure to check your mail thoroughly before you throw it away.
I think that's good advice. Another thing, and I know we've said this before, so I kind of hate to bring it up a bunch of times, but I want to quick tell people that they can still check Get My Payment. Might not be accurate in terms of, it might say that they're unable to give you your information, but it does seem as a whole that has been a useful tool eventually for people at some point. So I believe that's updated one time a day, so you don't need to check it a bunch of times a day. But you can go to Get My Payment, and it may tell you, it may not, it may align with your bank account, it may not, but it is a tool that's available. The other option, and I know that people also are very, very angry in the comments about this, but it is an option, is to call the IRS, because there are people, even if you're not one of them, there are people who are getting information and it confirmation that their information, you will get a check. So even though it's frustrating to call, you might be on hold for a couple of hours. If you're concerned and you're feeling like, am I even somebody who's going to get a check? I feel like calling the IRS, though it's frustrating, is a legit option.
That is an option, yeah.
Even if people are mad, they've done it, they're mad, it is an option.
Yeah, and I just want to point out one more observation that I've noticed that Corey alluded to in what she was just talking about, is as far as the Get My Payment tool, from just what I've observed from reading through literally thousands of comments, is it seems like it maybe updates about a week out from when a person is going to receive their payment. So just continue checking that website, because it may say unable to determine eligibility today, but it may update tomorrow. So just check it once per day and just recognize, just from my observation, it seems like it updates about a week out from when you actually receive your payment. Just again, not guidance from the IRS, just my observation.
The last two things we want to cover. One last thing that I want to say about the first stimulus package. The other thing that could have happened, and somebody just commented in the comments like a few minutes ago, that they're, and I might use the wrong wording, but it basically, like, they got their payment, but it was taken away by a third party because they owed money. And so they got the payment, but it was taken away by a debt collector or by child support. This stimulus check, that could be a situation. So if you know you're somebody who potentially has debt, child support or other debt, that debt collectors are contacting you, that may be why you don't have your stimulus. And so I'm not 100% sure how to find out if that's your situation, but that could be something that happened.
Yeah, and
even
that's
though,
unfortunate.
and again, super unfortunate, but that just could be a thing.
Yeah.
The last thing we want to say really fast is just that we're still paying attention to the HEROES Act. We're still trying to find out when you're going to get your second stimulus. We're following that carefully through different news stories, but there has not been any specific information given from like sources that we trust about that happening. But it sounds like it could happen in June, that's passed by the Senate, but we don't have that information, but we did want to address that.
Yeah, and when she says HEROES Act, that's the second round of stimulus checks. Again, still just a proposal right now in Congress. It sounds like they may be talking about it later this month, so don't get your hopes up for anything soon. If they do second stimulus checks, it looks like it would probably be in like July at the earliest. So just throwing that out there. We'll keep you updated with more information as we get it. But have a great week, everybody. I hope this was valuable to you, and leave any comments or questions below.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a great day. See you soon.